I'm going to call this special committee of the whole to order. For roll call, let the record show that we have Heidi West, Gwen Jones, Jordan Hess, Emily Bentley, Mayor Engen, John DeBari, myself, and Brian Von Lossberg. Is there any public comment on items not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll go to our one agenda item, which is a mountain water acquisition update, and I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Engen, who requested this meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, council members, for making time on a Friday afternoon. I am pleased to announce today that the City of Missoula and Liberty Utilities have come to terms on an agreement that will allow us to acquire mountain water for the City of Missoula to operate in perpetuity. We have been in negotiations for some time with Liberty. The agreement that we've reached, we believe, is pretty well. It's more than pretty. It's a good deal for the citizens. It allows us to reach closure on this long process without further litigation, and allows us to operate a water system. When we embarked on this journey, we did it for one reason and one reason only, and that is to operate this system for the good of this community for a very long time. And today, by virtue of the term sheet and the subsequent settlement agreement, we will have an opportunity to do just that far sooner than later. Today with us are our intrepid counsel, Tasha Jones and Scott Stearns. Tasha will describe for you some of what we've been able to negotiate as a function of this term sheet. Because the term sheet is not the final settlement agreement, some of the details aren't currently available. We'll provide you as much detail as possible as the settlement agreement is being drafted. That settlement agreement will come to you for your approval, and it is our hope that we can close this transaction and begin operating the utility at the end of May of 2017, which is coming right up. So with that, and without objection from the chair, I'll turn it over to Tasha.
Thank you. As the mayor stated, we are in the process of drafting a comprehensive settlement agreement, and that settlement agreement will be brought before this body for approval. I'm prepared to talk about some of the general terms, but as the process is under works, there's some details that we're still working out. But the general, the major points of the settlement are as follows. As a part of the comprehensive settlement, the city will make a payment to Mountain Water Company in the amount of $83.7 million. In addition to that, the city will make payments to the named developers in the developer's case, so that's the case before Judge Halligan, Carlisle for its attorney's fees, and Liberty Utilities and Park Water for transitional services. All the payments combined, so the total amount of the settlement is $96.4 million, which is consistent with the information that we've presented to this body previously. Those payments will be in full satisfaction of the award of just compensation entered by Judge Townsend in November of 2015, as well as her post-trial rulings regarding attorney's fees and costs, and the currently pending motion for post-hearing improvements. All of that is taken care of. The only remaining issue belonging to Mountain Water Company is a potential contingent liability claim for interest during the pendency of the court proceeding. So that is outside the scope of this agreement and may be litigated in the future. Liberty Utilities, as a part of this agreement, has agreed to cooperate completely in the transition to city ownership. And they're going to immediately provide access to the city and its vendor, Advanced Technologies, for customer data and configurations and other proprietary business information that the city needs for a very smooth transition to city ownership. And the city will contract separately with Park Water and Liberty for those transition services. As as a part of the global settlement, we believe this also takes care of, it will take care of Judge Halligan's case. So as I mentioned earlier, there are payments that will be made to the named developers in Judge Halligan's case. We are currently in discussions with the interveners in that case, and that is Missoula County, and there is a group of smaller developers. We're working with them, and it is anticipated that we'll have a full resolution of Judge Halligan's case. As a part of that, of the global settlement, the city was very interested in making sure that all developers were protected as a part of any deal that we entered. And as a part of our agreement with Liberty Utilities, the city is going to accept assignment of the unnamed developer contracts. So I think I've talked to you before. The little guys is how we've talked about them. And so this global settlement agreement contemplates that the city would accept assignment to make sure that those developer contracts are protected. They will roll into the new water utility under city ownership, and those contracts will be paid in the normal course over time, over the life of those contracts. There's also been an agreement that Mountain Water Company will immediately grant the city access to the physical facilities operated by Mountain Water Company for the purposes of transition planning and preparation. As the mayor indicated, our timeline is very quick as we anticipate transferring ownership the end of May. And Liberty and Mountain Water Company has pledged the full cooperation of its current employees to assist in the transition. The city is continuing its discussions with Mountain Water employees, and it intends to follow through on making good faith offers of employment to Mountain Water employees. We have a short timeline, including the timeline for this body's consideration of the deal. We expect to have a settlement agreement in the next couple weeks, and our deadline to get that to you is prior to May 20th. And that's a date that we've agreed to with Liberty. And so there'll be an exchange of the settlement agreement, and we'll get that to you right away. And all of that is to drive towards a closing date of May 31st, the end of May.
This is so exciting. Does anyone have any comments at this point? Mayor Engen, did you want to follow up?
Other than to thank all of you, your predecessors on this council, the community, our partners at the Clark Fork Coalition, our attorney team, the staff of the city of Missoula, the good folks at Mountain Water, Bruce Bender, who sits in the audience, Dale Bickle, who couldn't be here today because he's traveling. It's been a journey, and at the end of this journey, we will have done something that that will matter to this community long after we're forgotten, and I think that's about the best you can do in this line of work. So I am filled with gratitude today for folks in this room and out of this room who care about water, who care about the future, and who love Missoula the way I do.
Thank you, Mayor Engen. We have some time scheduled for discussion, questions. Gwen.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment that I've been sitting here thinking about sharing, and it's when I was in grade school in Paxton School in the 70s, Mayor George Turman lived across the street from Paxton School, and he came over to one of our, 5th grade classes or something to have a civics lesson. And the issue he chose to talk to our class about as being the most important issue facing Missoula in the middle of the 1970s was acquiring the water company. And I find it such good news that we are in a situation today to do this. Finally, we had the right facts in place. We had a mayor who was a great leader and had a lot of backbone, and so many people involved from the city staff and the attorneys, and it finally came to fruition. And litigation is hard. It is very stressful, it's very hard, it's very expensive, but it was the right thing to do, and I'm very thankful for that. So thanks, everyone.
Brian?
I'm struggling to find the right words. So I want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the leadership on this. It's been an honor to be a part of it. I'm thinking about some of the former council members, Jason and Ed and Mike and others. It's good news for them. It's good news for the entire community. I just wanted to touch on some of the points I heard. 96.4 total. As you mentioned, Ms. Jones, we've from the outset been committed to making sure the developers in the community were taken care of. They're taken care of. We've been particularly focused recently on just the nuts and bolts of transition, making sure we're doing the right thing with employees and the necessary things with data. And I heard you speak to those items. It's an incredibly exciting, important day in Missoula's history. So thrilled to hear it.
Emily.
Thanks. I'm teary-eyed. I'm emotional. It's been a long journey, and I thank the people who started it, who are on council, and former councilmen and women. And I thank our legal team, also Tasha and Scott. Thank you so much. There was definitely times when we were in the weeds, and there was litigation fatigue, and we stuck it out, and it was worth it. And one of the reasons we stuck it out is because we had a great team, and because of the mayor's vision and of all of our fortitude in understanding that this process was not ever about us. It was about our children's children. And we set a precedent here in Missoula for the entire country, and that you can't, we stand up to bullies, and especially when it has to do with, our lives and our children's lives. And the little guys won, and that feels good. So thank you, Mayor, for all of your strength and courage and leadership.
John?
Thank you as well. There are a number of people in the community who have supported this, but there are also a number of people in the community who didn't support this effort. And what I'd like to do is turn to the future. We've had numerous presentations by city staff and new employees of what will be Missoula Water, and hopefully some other employees that are coming over from Mountain Water. And I really do feel confident that this is a job that the city can do extremely well, and I look forward to working with the staff to make sure that that happens.
Jordan.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Mayor Engen, for all of your efforts in this. It's been an honor working with you on this, and I'm very proud to have been part of the process. I'd echo the same thanks to everyone else, to our legal team, to all of the community support we've received. It's very exciting, and it's wonderful to be at this point. Mr. DeBari's remarks made me turn right away to what an exciting public works project this is going to be to rehabilitate the system and integrate it with existing infrastructure projects. And we're starting to see that already with our work that we're doing on Russell Street. So taking that into the future is going to be incredibly exciting, and I'm looking forward to it.
You're looking at me like I have to say something.
I don't mean to put you on the spot with my eyes.
Well, I'm also just terribly excited that this day is finally here. I think all of us 6 new council members kind of came into this on the tail end, and a lot of people did a lot of work before we got here. So I just want to echo what everybody else said, and I'm excited that we get to start this new utility.
And I'll wrap up by adding thanks to everyone who worked on this, legal team, staff, everybody, but I want to call out and thank my constituents and constituents across Missoula. I feel like at one point the legal strategy from the water company, the previous owner of the water company, was just to keep running up the bill until community support went away, and it never did. I mean, my constituents consistently over these many years told me how they thought it was important, And I think that's why the mayor continued to be such a, he just stayed the course and was a good leader in this, because it's important to the community. And there have been some naysayers. I hope we can move forward and work together on all of this, but I have never felt like I was out on a limb or doing something contrary to what my voters and people in Missoula wanted. So I want to thank the community for all their support through this. Are there any questions? Do we have any public comment on this item? Well, what about scheduling? So we'll need to have something in a committee prior to a Monday night meeting. There's no action being taken today. There's nothing to act on right now anyway. It's just nice to get together and breathe a big sigh of relief. But this timeline you think is going to happen? What day is the 20th a Monday?
It's not, and we'll present a plan, I think, for a meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and asked the clerk's office to reserve an hour for Mountain Water update on Wednesday. Do we need that at this point? I'm looking at Kirsten. She's like, just tell me what you need. Do we need 30-minute update? Do we need any update?
Pardon me, I don't think we do. So what happens now is the hard work of crafting that settlement agreement, which will be detailed, and that is largely the work of attorneys with our consultation. We do have solid deadlines around delivery of settlement agreement and response to settlement agreement. So Tasha, you may want to just describe that timeline one more time for folks.
Yeah, Liberty is going to take the initial draft of the settlement agreement, and they're going to have that to us in 5 days, and then we have 5 days to respond to it. So we should have that midweek next week, and then we'll have 5 days to make our comments, and we would anticipate after 10 days that we would have a document ready to be looked at soon thereafter. So, I think what we need to do is look at a date before May 20th, not too much before that, to set a meeting for the consideration of the final agreement.
And Madam Chair, some of this will be fluid, as they say. So I'll be in close touch with you and clerk's office with regard to what we need to do. We are always able to schedule a special council meeting as well as necessary, and special committee meetings to make sure that we meet our timelines.
Sure, so everyone should stay on the lookout for meeting announcements like that. Let's go ahead and cancel the committee of the whole meeting for next week, because I think it was the only thing on the agenda, and hopefully we can have a really cool meeting about this on May 11th, my birthday. That would be a great birthday. All right.
And this has largely all been about you.
It is, I know. This is my point. Yeah, thanks. Well, it's still 12 days away, but if you can work it out, I would appreciate that.
We'll do our best.
Okay. One last call for public comments. Seeing none, I think we're adjourned.